Good morning, and welcome to another Mission Minded Monday here with me, your favorite nonprofit strategist and founder of Utopian Enterprise Business Solutions, Asiya Nasir, and author of my book, Nonprofit Doesn't Mean No Profit, that you can get right on Amazon and you can see right up there what it looks like. So you can go right on there, see my picture, and purchase your copy today. So I'm here today with another live talking about some great information that I do every other Monday that is beneficial to aspiring founders, existing founders, and even founders that are finding themselves at a crossroad, in being able to be sustainable, marketable, in alliance with other, things that, matter to them and how they're going to make a difference in the communities that they're looking to serve. So my whole mantra, my whole purpose in doing the things that I do is to help nonprofits fully fulfill their missions in real time, and that takes strategy. It's not just a wish and a prayer. That is important. You want to make sure that you're in prayer, but also you want to make sure that you're working in alliance with those prayers and making sure that you're doing your due diligence to make sure that you're being strategic, and doing the things that you need to do, and those that are working with you doing what it needs to do to be able to help the recipients that are looking to utilize the services that you provide. So today is no different. I'm going to be providing something that this is just the time that you want to be doing this. This time of year is a great time because we're almost in fourth quarter, and fourth quarter is a great time to start looking and reaching out to corporate sponsors, seeing how you can get some corporate support. And so today's theme is Mission Meets Monday, the art of attracting corporate donors. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, and how to be strategic in your approach to being able to attract those corporate donors that can make the bigger donations that are going to help your organization to be sustainable. So today I have 4 strategies that I want to share with you that I think is really going to make a difference in not only you as probably the founder or the executive director of your organization, but also those that you work with, which would include your board members, your volunteers. So this is a holistic approach in you being able to attract those corporate donors that's going to really help make a difference. So let's get right into our 4 strategies. And the first strategy is ditching that one size fit all approach. A lot of times we go with the same approach. We get this mass email of different corporations, in your area, people that, you know, uh, may belong to Chamber of Commerce, something that you may have in common. Um, your alma mater or something. And so you look at all these, corporations, their emails, and what you do is, even on your LinkedIn page, you may look on your LinkedIn page and who you're connected to and just send out these mass sponsorship packages to different, corporations and companies looking to hopefully get a donation. So it's kind of like you know, throwing something in the dark and just hoping something is going to come out of it, right? That's not very strategic. So strategy number 1 is ditching that one size fit all approach. Like, customize your approach, customize your corporate ask. And the only way you can do that is by being strategic of which corporations you want to align with. So if you are looking at your Chamber of Commerce, the list, maybe you're a member, looking at that list, looking at, maybe the people that you're connected to, the companies that you're connected to on LinkedIn or on other social media platforms, or your alma mater and things like that. Start researching before you even just ask, right? Start doing your research, do your due diligence as an executive director or founder of a nonprofit organization. Do your due diligence to see which companies, actually align with your mission, actually share the same values that you have. Take a look at, who they've supported before. What causes have they supported before? Would it align with your organization and the things that you do? So that way you can customize your approach accordingly. So that's what you want to do to make sure that you're not just throwing a dart, in the dark. You are, trying to make sure that that shot that you're shooting is going to land on someone that really wants to hear and actually takes value in the things that you take value in, in the things that you're doing. So, you want to make sure that your value system, your mission is actually aligning with that corporation. So that way, when you talk to them, it's not a foreign language that you're speaking, right? Tailor your proposal to that, because that's what they want to hear. That's what they want to hear. They want to hear how this is in alignment to what it is that you do. So that way the corporate ask, when you ask for that, when you're talking about what you believe, they're listening, they're loving what they're hearing, because it's something that there's some synergy there. So this is just not a conversation that you're having and you're hoping that they're going to have mercy on you and give you a donation. No, you're speaking their language. You're speaking their language, something that they understand, something that they believe in. And so once you do that and you see that synergy, and they're like, yeah, and they see that you've done your due diligence and researching them and seeing who that makes an impression. That makes an impression on that company, whoever they have you speaking to, whether it's the owner of the company or their community development rep or whatever. That's an impressive thing, that they're like, wow, you took the time to get to know us, to know what we value. And that's why you felt that this would be a good ask. This would be a good company to partner with, right? And we're going to be talking about that word soon, and how important that is. So once you actually, make the ask, that's when that sponsorship package that you take so much time to create and just put in these mass emails, that's when you want to have that corporate sponsorship. Is once you ask. Typically they'll say that, like, do you have they love what you're doing, they want to support. Now they're having to make sure they're crossing all their T's and dotting all their I's and making sure they have the documents that they need in order to make that donation. That's when you want to put out that mass sponsorship package that you would send in that massive email. That's when you want to be able to present that, because now that's what they're asking for in order for them to make that donation for your nonprofit organization. So we got to get away from this text messaging and emails and very digital world. That's great, and it has its purpose and it serves its purpose. But when you're asking for corporate sponsorship, when you're asking for corporate donors and attracting them, they want that conversation. They want to have that sit down. They want to sit in that conference room and be able to have a conversation, ask questions. Where is it that your organization is going, what you're doing, what have you done? Those are all things that they want to hear. And you can't get that in a sponsorship package. You can't get that synergy from a sponsorship package. So you got to put feet to the street and actually start making those phone calls and trying to make those meetings to be able to attract those donors. And that's only after you've done your due diligence to see which corporations and which companies actually align with your mission. So that way it's a purposeful conversation, one that your percentage goes up because you already know who they have supported before and what causes they have supported before. So making your search for corporate donors more strategic. All right. So that's strategy number one. Strategy number two is, as I mentioned before, tailoring your message. Now you're tailoring your approach that is going to open up your door. So once you have that sit down, once you're talking to them, right? A lot of times we want to lead with just the ask. Our nonprofit organization needs funding. This is, we need funding for this. We need to raise this. We need, that's where we kind of lead the conversation. And that's really not a good way to lead the conversation. What you should be leading your conversation with is your mission. Because again, if you've done your due diligence and you see what causes that they have supported in the past, starting with your mission is going to let them know within 10 seconds or less that this is a company that they want to hear about. Your nonprofit is an organization that they want to support, right? So you want to lead with the mission, but not only lead with your mission, but also follow it up with the outcomes, the data, the results of your nonprofit organization, the efforts that you're making. So while you lead with your mission, follow it up with an impact statement. So I'll give you an example. My nonprofit organization works with teen girls, right? We look to support teen girls in building up their self-esteem and sense of self-worth. So I'll give you kind of like what this sounds like. A lot of times these corporate donors will ask you, so tell me a little bit about your nonprofit organization. This is where you lead. So I'll just give you an example. So if they ask me something like that, I would say, well, Jessica Care's mission is to, what we're all about is helping teen girls in underserved communities to help them become confident and leaders, and for many of them first generation college graduates. That's like our something very, very important to us. And currently right now we have a 90% success rate, and we've been in existence, and we founded our organization since 2010 or 2000 whatever you started your organization. So I'm letting them know what is our mission is, right? We work with underserved teen girls, helping them to be able to become leaders, to become confident, and to become, for many of them, first time generation graduates, right? And we currently have a 90% success rate. That's huge. That is huge. Imagine starting your conversation, with a corporate donor indicating that you have 75% success rate, 80% success rate, right? It doesn't matter the quantity. What a corporate donor wants to know is the quality. Are you making an impact? Because let me tell you something, when you're dealing with business people, especially corporations, they want to know that your organization is worth funding. Even if you're working with 10 people, 20 people a year, 25 people a year, they want to know that the money that they're investing in your corporation is having an impact. There is a result that is derived from their donation. They're seeing that your organization, without their money, is already having a success rate. So if they donated to your organization, that would only be increasing. And that's what you want to show, is how their donation and how their contribution is going to increase that success rate. That's what a business owner, their return on investment, that's when you're talking, again, you're talking their language. So, start your conversation not with gimme, 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 this is what we need. Show them that you are an organization that is worth funding, that your organization already has a success rate, and that their contribution is only going to enhance that, increase that, and push that forward. Keep it sustainable. That's what corporate donors want to hear. So make sure you lead your conversation with that. Okay, so that's strategy number 2. Strategy number 3 is, this is a big one. And this is where now you're incorporating your entire team to be able to attract, corporate donors. And that's where you're leveraging warm introductions. Warm introductions. So as I mentioned before, some of you are looking through your Chamber of Commerce, you're looking through GuideStar, you're looking through your LinkedIn page, and that's great. Those are some ways that you can attract, and you want to be able to leverage that network. You definitely want to do that. However, what you want to do, which is going to have a more success rate for you, if we're talking about having strategy, you want to be able to utilize your existing network. That means people that you talk to, that you have a connection to, that you may be doing business with. And it's not just you. This, again, when you're talking about leveraging your existing network, it's not just your network and who you're connected with and who you have do business with, or have a consistent relationship with, but you're also now imploring, and you're also now bringing in your board of directors. This is why you have a board of directors, or one of the reasons why you have board of directors. Board of directors are supposed to be able to help you leverage their connections and their resources, right? So now here is where you're not only reaching out to your existing network, but now you are also including now your board members, your volunteers, and also anyone that you may know or that your team may know that are the connection to the decision makers of the corporations and the companies that you want to have that conversation with. So here is where, instead of making those cold calls, and if any of you have been in sales, you know no one enjoys cold calls. Cold calls are the worst. Why? Because you're trying to build trust within a few seconds. Most people who receive cold calls, what do you do? What do I do when I get cold calls? I'm not interested. And I typically tell them that within the first 15 seconds. I'm like, you're pitching something. I don't know who you are. I don't got time for this. I'm busy with the things that I actually care about, the things that I actually have a connection to. So why would it be any different for your nonprofit organization? Here is where now your board member can make that introduction. Your volunteer may be able to make that introduction, because again, it's about leveraging your network, utilizing the people that you know, your board members, your volunteers, to now connect you with the people that they know. So a lot of us, we kind of sleep on our volunteers. We're sleeping on our board members. They may be connected to, they may work for a company that actually supports your mission and aligns with your mission. And now, because you actually have someone that they're connected to, that built-in trust, that warm introduction now gets you that much closer to being able to attract that donation that you need. Why? Because you have someone that you're mutually connected to, that you value, you respect, and they're saying, hey, this is an organization that I either sit on the board or I volunteer for, and they align with our mission, and the things that we value as a company. They would like to sit down and talk to you. And this is where you make sure that if that connection is made and that introduction is made, you come ready. You want to come ready, making sure that you have the history of your organization, the growth of your organization, the impact that you've made. Again, not about quantity, about quality. The impact that you made, that results, your storytelling, what success stories do you have, right? Your online presence, making sure that your website is up to date. No out of date information on there, up to date. Your social media platforms look clean and look good, so that when they're looking, because trust me when I tell you, they're looking. Trust me when I tell you, they're looking. They want to see if your online presence match what it is that you're telling them. They want to see current programs. They want to see current services happening. They want to see current, success stories and testimonials, from the recipients of your nonprofit organization. That should be on your social, your online presence, because they're going to look. They're going to look. Even making sure that your filings are good, because they're going to look. Are you filing your taxes on a regular basis? Are you in compliance? Is your company ready for a donation? Is your company ready for that sponsorship, meaning you're a credible company that is looking to be able to give funding? So you want to leverage those warm introductions. So when you have your meeting, ask every board member, right? Ask every volunteer, your next volunteer committee meeting. You want to make sure that you're asking them, name 3 to 5 corporations that you have a great relationship with, that that they support the community, that they care about the community, and that they align with your mission, that you feel would be a great introduction for you to make, so that way we can talk to them about corporate donations, corporate sponsorships. And then what I'm talking about now, which is strategy number 4, and the last one, but definitely not least, this is where now you are not just looking for that one and done donation, but understanding the difference between donation and approaching partnership. So you want that warm introduction, but you're not just coming in for that one and done. You want to start building alliances. You want to start building a relationship and nurturing your relationship with those introductions that you have, with those conversations that you're having at those meetings. So you're giving them your testimonials. You're showing them that you are, funding ready. You are ready for funding. You're ready for their contribution, right? But you are now wanting to build a relationship with them. So it's not just a conversation of, well, we need, this amount of money, but you also want to talk about and make it very clear in your conversation that you are not looking for just a donation. You're wanting to partner with them, especially after you've done your research. You've done your research, you know who they have supported in the past, you know what they value. Now you want to leverage on that. You have something in common that can now keep you talking about sustainable. You want not just a one and done. You want to make sure that that donations continue to thrive. So you want to look for collaboration, partnership. These are the words that you want to consistently be able to use in that conversation. So yes, you're asking for the donation, but you want to look for ways in which you can strategically work together. And these are words, again, speaking their language. They love partnership. They love collaboration. Why? Because it's a win-win for everyone. When you have that conversation now, it's not just a gimme, what can I get out of this? But it's also now letting them know what's in it for them. So be ready to talk about what's in it for them. What are you willing to leverage that relationship for them to showcase them, their support and what they're doing? And not only from a executive perspective, but also engaging their employees, making this something. So if you're running short on volunteers, have employee volunteer days. It leverage their employees. Their employees may want to donate. So this might be something that you can talk about, which is an annual fundraising day for their employees. Things that they can do, that you can partner with their company, engage their employees, and their employees also participate in fundraising, whether that's through payroll, whether that's through a fundraising day, or whether that's through mentoring programs or uh, donation matching, even donation matching. So for every donation, as I was mentioning before, a fundraising day, if they're donating a specific day that you're hosting for their employees, then that company is matching it. And this is something that you want to do on an annual basis, or you want to do on a biannual basis. So this is something that you're leveraging, again, sustainability, a relationship, an ongoing relationship, and then you also support them on things that are important to them. You see what I'm saying? So this is great. So start thinking about who's in your circle right now, who's in your corporate circle that you can reach out to. Also reaching out to your, at your next board meeting, asking your board members, make this a priority, because and the reason why I said this is an excellent time to reach out to these corporate donors is because December is coming up. Guess what? A lot of these corporations are looking for that tax deductible donation, and they need to do it before December. So this is a great time to start having this conversation, prepping yourself in the month of August to actually now start having those conversations in September. Everyone's kind of like in vacation mode and things like that. People are away on vacation. Guess what? This is your time to get ready, to prep, start having these conversations with your team. So that way in September, October, you can start actually reaching out, having those conversations, and ready to get those donations before the end of the year. So that way they can get that tax deductibility for 2025. So be strategic in what you're doing in attracting corporate donations. So that is what I wanted to share with you. Short and sweet, some power punches, some things that you can really leverage on to be able to help your organization to be able to sustain itself. Don't just rely on grant money. Grant money is a 50-50. It's a great way to be able to, raise money for your organization, but it's not a guarantee. But nurturing relationships, building collaborations and alliances, you know, uh, getting your team to also participate and being able to do that, that's what's going to be consistent. That's what's going to be sustainable for you to be able to keep your organization going and providing the services to the ones that need it most. So again, that is what I wanted to share with you today. Think about some things, make that next, meeting about this exactly, because December is going to be here before you know it. And if you're not doing it, guess what? Your competition is. That means other nonprofit organizations are going to be doing that. So you want to leverage that and make sure you're getting those conversations in. So before I leave, I want to just send out a reminder for our upcoming virtual nonprofit symposium that we're going to be hosting on August 16th, which is a Saturday, where we're going to be having expert speakers talking about this from your for marketing strategies. So with those online presence, how do you make that? How do you funnel that? How do you get that to be convenient and something that's going to, really bring in donations? We have someone that is going to be speaking on campaigns. So again, not just looking for the grants, but also looking for other ways throughout the year to be able to raise money to keep your company sustainable. And third, we have someone coming in from the banking industry, a missed opportunity. He is going to be sharing some gems with y'all that are going to really be able to help you leverage your banking relationship and opportunities that you didn't even know that was available to you right now that can get you money in your organization and to be able to get you, those in kind, I'm not even gonna give it away, but he's gonna be sharing some amazing information. We're going to have some leadership workshops to be able to build up your board of directors and your executive team, because it starts from the top. So we're going to have that. And I am actually going to put the link here. It's all for $47, and it's in the comfort of your home or your office. So you don't have to leave. You don't even got to get dressed up. Just get a pen, paper, be relaxed in your pajamas or whatever you want to be in, and be ready to learn and grow. So I'm actually going to put the link in here. It's posting it up now. So this is the link. So that way you can, get in there. It's 12 days away. Did I mention that? 12 days away. So you want to make sure that you capitalize on this, get in while you fit in, get this information in, so that way you can make sure that you are, getting the time, educating yourself, educating your team. So this is not just for you, the executive director or founder, but this is for your entire team. You want to get everybody on the same page so that way you can get your 2026 off on the right foot. So until our next live for our Mission Minded Monday, I will see you in 2 weeks, God willing. Hope this was beneficial. See you soon.